Have you ever felt that sudden stomach-dropping panic? You know the one. You finally land that absolute dream job, or maybe you're ready to book an international flight, or you literally just need to renew your driver's license, and then it hits you. You need a certified copy of your Iowa birth certificate, and you need it right now. Let's be totally honest here. The mere thought of navigating traditional government bureaucracy, taking time off work, and waiting in some incredibly long line can be super stressful. But what if I told you those traditional hurdles are basically a thing of the past?
When you really think about it, almost all the paperwork in your entire life, we're talking passports, social security cards, driver's licenses, none of these are even possible without one foundational document, your birth certificate. It is absolutely the master key to your legal identity in the United States. Without it, you're essentially locked out of major life events, from enrolling in school to getting essential government services. It really isn't just a piece of paper, it's the ultimate proof of exactly who you are.
So, welcome to our explainer on how to get a birth certificate copy online in Iowa. Today we're going to completely demystify the online vital records request process in the Hawkeye State. We're going to bypass all the confusion, definitely save you a miserable trip down to the county office, and walk you through the exact steps to get your certified document quickly, efficiently, and most importantly, securely, right from the comfort of your own home. By the end of this breakdown, you'll save both time and money for sure.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll be looking at the digital shortcut, gathering your proof, the step-by-step process, navigating fees and timelines, security and troubleshooting, and finally, some next steps and a brief disclaimer. All right, part 1, the digital shortcut, skipping the county office.
Listen, if you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. VitalCheck is the absolutely only authorized third-party vendor for the Iowa Department of Health and Human Services. If you just go online and blindly search for Iowa birth certificates, you're going to hit a literal maze of unofficial websites and, frankly, outright scams that charge crazy hidden fees for services they can't even guarantee. VitalCheck is the single official digital pathway approved by the state of Iowa. So stick to this authorized route, and your data stays secure.
Moving on to part 2, gathering your proof and establishing entitlement.
Okay, so before we start clicking around online, we kind of need to understand a bit of Iowa law. Unlike some states where these documents might be pretty easy to grab, Iowa's vital records system is strictly closed to public inspection. And that's a good thing. It prevents identity fraud. But it brings us to a critical legal threshold called direct and tangible interest. This is just a fancy legal way of saying you have to prove to the state that you genuinely have the right and authorization to access this specific closed record.
So who exactly makes the cut under these strict entitlement rules? Well, it's a pretty tight circle of immediate family and legal representation. You qualify if you are the actual person named on the record, their current spouse or children, legal parents or grandparents, grandchildren, siblings, or a formally recognized legal representative or guardian. And one more thing, you absolutely must be at least 18 years old to make the request. If you don't fit into one of these exact categories, you just cannot order the document.
Now, before you even start the application, you absolutely have to have a clear copy of your current government-issued photo ID, like your driver's license or maybe a passport, ready to go. I literally cannot stress this enough. Having this ID prepared is a totally non-negotiable step for verifying your identity during the online application. The system needs to authenticate who you are to satisfy that direct and tangible interest requirement we just talked about.
All right, part 3. The step-by-step process of navigating the portal. Here's how this actually works in the real world in 3 super simple steps. Step 1, go directly to the official VitalCheck website. Step 2, complete the online identity verification. The system is going to securely ask you some questions and use your ID to quickly verify your entitlement to the record. And step 3, just pay the required fees and select your shipping method. It really is that streamlined. The whole portal is designed to quickly verify your legal rights and process your order without you ever having to leave your couch.
Okay, part 4. Navigating fees and timelines, or, what it actually costs.
So let's talk numbers. In Iowa, the base fee for a vital record search and one certified copy falls right in the range of $15 to $20. It just depends on if you're navigating through county or state-level systems that have maybe updated their fees recently. But here's a massive detail to keep in mind. This fee is retained for the search effort even if a record isn't found. Basically, the state is charging you for the actual labor of searching their archives, so please ensure the birth details you provide are as accurate as humanly possible. Now, because we're taking the highly convenient digital shortcut, there are a few additional costs to be aware of.
VitalCheck charges an online processing fee that typically starts around $13 to $14, and that's on top of the base state fee. Then you've got to consider shipping. Standard USPS mail usually doesn't have an extra charge, but if you're in a rush and need express courier shipping, that's going to add an additional, variable cost to your total.
And when it comes to delivery, you've got a few options depending on your budget and your timeline. UPS Overnight is going to be your absolute fastest route, taking about 2 to 5 business days. UPS 2-day takes just a bit longer at 5 to 10 business days. Standard USPS mail is definitely the most budget-friendly, but it takes the longest, anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, and honestly, sometimes up to 4 to 6 weeks depending on how busy the mail is. There's also a will call option to pick it up in person in Des Moines, but quick heads up on that one. You must have a verified Iowa address to use that specific feature, again, just to prevent out-of-state fraud.
Part 5. Security and troubleshooting. Basically, protecting your identity.
Look, standard mail is definitely cheaper, but it's slower, there's no step-by-step tracking, and honestly, there's a real risk of mail theft. In contrast, express courier, like UPS, is fast, highly trackable, and requires a signature upon delivery. Now, why does this matter so much? Because literally millions of adults are victims of identity fraud every single year. Given that a birth certificate is your foundational identity document, we strongly advocate for springing for express shipping. It just ensures the document goes safely from the government vault straight into your hands and absolutely no one else's.
But hey, what if things don't go perfectly? Let's troubleshoot some common hiccups right now. If your order is missing in the mail, you need to contact the issuing office if it hasn't shown up in 30 days. Seriously, do not wait months to follow up. If you've had a legal name change due to marriage, divorce, or adoption, and you need help modifying an original Iowa birth certificate, just call the Bureau of Health Statistics legal desk directly at 515-725-2566. Oh, and here's a fun historical fact for the genealogist watching. If you're looking for records prior to July 1, 1880, they simply aren't on file, because that is the exact date official registration actually began in Iowa. And finally, Part 6. Next steps and our quick disclaimer.
Just a quick heads up before we wrap things up today. This explainer is for educational and informational purposes only. Government fees, processing times, and state policies are, as always, subject to change. For the absolute most current, specific legal advice or info regarding your vital records, always consult directly with the Iowa Department of Health and Human Services.
We've covered a lot of ground today, but you now possess the exact step-by-step roadmap to confidently request your vital records from home without pulling your hair out. You know the authorized vendor, you know the fees, and you know how to protect your identity in transit. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. With your certified birth certificate secured online in a matter of minutes, what new doors will your verified identity open for you today? A new passport? A dream job? Take action, get those documents in order, and definitely let us know how it goes in the comments below.